Hello, Lisa Moore here. All right, so we are in one of our units and we just got some countertops in. Check it out. So they're putting countertops in another unit as well right now. They just came in place and they still have to attach and do some stuff, but we're getting some nice quartz countertops. They're gonna look really, well, they already do look way nicer, but now we're going with quartz because one, it looks nicer. Two, it is far more durable than the laminate type countertops. Yeah, they look nicer. They're more durable. And when we're buying properties, pretty much everything we buy, we have the intention that we are going to hold it long term. And so we don't want to deal with maintenance. We don't want to have to be switching out kitchens again in just in a year or two if a tenant moves out. So for us, we can invest the money into the nicer quality stuff now and know that these countertops are going to last a lot longer than laminate countertops. And we're getting these, so for the countertop and install, countertop, install, sink, everything for the countertops, it is just under $900 a countertop. And you can see these are not big. It's not a ton of, this is it. It's not a ton of countertop. Not huge kitchens, good sized kitchens, but not a ton. But the fact that we can get them done for under $900 for us was a no-brainer. Like I said, knowing that these are going to last a lot longer than any laminate we would have put in is huge. They look nicer. And a lot of times when you're doing a remodel or you're doing a flip or something like that, you're going to do your remodel up to the niceness of the area. A luxury A-class type property is going to need, more custom cabinets, definitely granite countertops, soft close cabinets, all those things. You're going to do higher end finishes on A-class and nicer properties. This being a C-class area, does it warrant granite countertops? Not necessarily. We're not doing the granite because we expect to be getting another $100 a month out of them. The fact that we can get them done for a little bit more than the laminate, for us, we'll get our units rented quicker, more than likely, and tenants will probably stay longer. So when tenants are looking around and they're looking at an area, so they're looking at this area, this is in Lansing, Illinois, and they're looking at, okay, for X amount of dollars, $1,500, $1,800, what can I get? And when they're comparing our unit to another unit, so that's the same price, but they see ours and they're like, oh, this one has granite countertops and a dishwasher and ceiling lights. Like, for the same price, I'm going to go with that unit. So not everything always has to be an immediate, okay, we invest X amount of dollars, it's going to get an X amount of return. Yes, it's definitely something to pay attention to, but there are also some of these like intangibles that you can't necessarily put an exact dollar figure on. You can't necessarily say exactly, okay, us putting in the granite countertops is going to make us X amount of money. We can't really do that with this because it's, like I said, this isn't an area that necessarily needs granite countertops, but for a little bit more money to have something that's going to last longer. So it's going to save us money in the long run because laminate countertops, they can get damaged. They can put something hot on them and get destroyed. The sides always end up peeling, get chipped. They get beat up a lot faster. So having the ability to put in this quartz, they're quartz, I keep saying granite, but it's quartz, put in these quartz countertops, have them last longer, they'll look nicer, and they will draw better tenants and hopefully have tenants stay longer and hopefully have tenants choose our location and our apartments over someplace else. So hopefully shorter vacancies. So there's a lot of things that go into why we make choices. Obviously financially driven is a huge part of that, but there are also some of these intangibles. So when you are doing a remodel or you're looking to flip a house, anything like that, yes, look and see, okay, what area is this? Is this an A class? Is it a B? Is it a C? What finishes are required for here? And could you do nicer finishes, even though it doesn't necessarily need it, but could you do nicer finishes for roughly the same amount or maybe a little bit more? That's just gonna put your property above all the other ones in hopes that you'll have lower vacancy, less turnover, more people applying and more interest in them. Those are also things to consider, and that we've done in a lot of our places. We put quartz or granite in almost every one of our units now. We put laminate in one of our units recently, because I think it took like one piece. It was a really small kitchen. But I'd say 90% of the rehabs that we've been doing granite or quartz countertops, because we can get such a good price. I mean, to be able to get these kitchens done for less than $900 to have quartz in here is huge. So that is the decision that we made. Ceiling lights. We're gonna have ceiling lights. This building being built in the 1970s, there weren't any. I know I've discussed that in another video. I mean, there's actually a unit. So this building is, which I'll go outside shortly and show. So this is 20 buildings in this complex, 10 on each side. And there's actually a unit at, well, I think it's a building right next door actually, that is available for rent, being listed right now for $1,800. And it's a nice unit. So very similar to what ours will be, except ours will have the granite countertops, dishwasher, and ceiling lights. Other than that, they look like they've repainted. They put in new cabinets. They did a nice job. That was another reason that we liked this apartment complex, because each building is individually owned. There's 4 owners of these buildings, and at least 3 of the owners, including us, we know are doing updates and actually are really trying to get everything nicer and updated. So that was another reason that we liked this building and this deal, because we knew that the other property owners were already in process of buying and rehabbing and getting rents up to market rent and trying to keep this as a nicer place. So that was a huge, huge benefit for us. And obviously we're doing the same. Coming in, we're going to rehab all these units and get them looking nice. So we've got this one done now, doing now. There's a second unit that they're bringing countertops in for right now as well. There's 5 more units that we already have the cabinets in the units. They just need to be installed, which I think is happening Thursday. And then we had 2 more units vacate over the last several days. And one of those units, I know one of them has started to get emptied out. I don't know about the second one yet, but I think one of them is completely, all the cabinets are already out. I think there's just one now vacant unit that we can get the cabinets, everything demoed and taken out. So, yeah, and another update on that. So one of the issues, there's always some issues that you run into. Our agreement, some of our contract with the seller on a master lease, and what was supposed to happen. Basically, the seller is just being very sleazy, I guess is probably the best way to put it, and trying to get out of some of the contract, like the contract, and I sent it to him, screenshot, highlighted, the units are to be vacant and broom clean. And the tenant that just left, that was there, one of their master lease tenants left couches, multiple mattresses, trash, furniture, a whole bunch, like, I don't even know what they took with them. And so they said, all right, the tenant's out. And I responded back. I said, okay. I said, when you guys come in to clean this out, here's the agreement. It says vacated and broom clean. And they left a bunch of stuff. And they're like, nope, it just has to be vacant. We didn't say it would be broom clean. I'm like, it's a fucking contract. So it doesn't sound like they're going to be, well, we've already emptied a lot of it. So we've just been battling with them, not surprisingly. when we were doing that master lease, we kind of had in the back of our mind that they could try and be sleazy and not follow up on any of it, and it looks like that is coming to fruition. So we are not surprised, just the fact that they listed this saying it was updated and stuff. It was just a not as advertised property, we will say. So we were not surprised. I was not surprised dealing with that stuff today, and some of this has all just come up today. But and then there's the agreement was that they would get the units vacant. Everywhere it said was vacate get the tenants out. They'd be vacant units. And one of the units, and they were doing that because the tenants were behind being evicted. And one of the ones that's being evicted, there's a certain statute in where we are that they can do like a one-time pay and stay. So they're like, okay, well, they're doing the one-time pay and stay. So once this is approved, it's going to be your tenant. I said, no, that was not the deal. The deal was you have to get the units vacant. This is a month-to-month tenant. You can give them a non-renewal. And they're like, nope, we're caught up. It's your tenant now. So we're trying to talk with our attorney to see what legal action. It's like the sellers know that it's probably not going to be enough money worth us getting the attorneys involved and spending the money on that. I'm sure they know that, which is why they're not following up on these things, because they're not going to waste their time and money doing that, so we'll just screw them over, is basically kind of their attitude, it seems. So it's frustrating, not surprising. There's still one more tenant. So one of the tenants, they're out of the 3 master lease tenants. One of them just moved out this weekend, left the place a disaster. And which we knew it was like that. One of the tenants is the one they're trying to say, nope, once they're caught up, there's nothing we can do. They're now your tenant, which there is something they can do. They're just trying to pass the buck and get out of it. And then the third one is supposed to be out sometime mid-February. So we'll see what happens. Supposedly they already have a new place. They're just waiting on final approval for them to move. And have said that they'll be out by February 15th. So we'll see if that happens. But today was a frustrating day in dealing with that, with just these things like, here's a contract, this is what was agreed upon, and they just keep being like, nope. And they still haven't paid us. So the agreement was that they would pay us on the 15th of the month, so January 15th for January rents, the 15th of every month for rents. And I'm like, you guys haven't sent us, we haven't received January's payment. And I don't think they had any intention of paying us on the 15th. We'll see if they pay us at all. Hopefully they at least follow that aspect of their contract. That they probably would, because that one we would go after them on. But yeah, it's just one of those things where as we kept getting into the deal, realizing how sleazy the seller was. And we actually just had lunch with our brokers today, and I told them, I said, I will never buy anything from that seller again. I said, and even that agent, I said, I'd be very hesitant to work with that agent again. I said, because to me, if you're listing a property and like, you should walk every unit and you should know what I'm a licensed agent. If I was to list an 18 unit, I would want to see the condition of every single unit, because I would want to know what I'm getting into, because all that it does is cause issues. And the seller obviously didn't care and knew that these issues would come up, and they would just be like, deal with it. We did get some concessions, and we got the $55,000 credit and things like that. But the listing agent, I also don't know how much I would trust, just the fact that supposedly they didn't know the condition. They were told that all units are the same, and they only saw a couple of units. I'm like, well, shame on you. You should have gone and looked at all the other units and known the condition. So you trying to sell a unit, and when you are advertising and putting your marketing together and claiming all of these things, and then they're all a lie, that looks very bad on you, because that to me is his responsibility to make sure that what he's listing, what he's saying is true and accurate. So it's been a little frustrating today trying to deal with this stuff, and we're trying to talk with our attorney and figure out, you know, what can we do? Is it worth fighting? Because my guess is they know that we're probably not going to, like that unit next door that is supposed to be room clean. We've already started to empty it out. I'm like, for us to delay waiting for them and to fight over it is a delay for us. And they probably know that and also just don't care. So there's always issues that come up. This one was not a surprise. We were hoping to not have to deal with this type of stuff, but we also figured we would. I figured out of all of the units, we'd probably end up having to do a couple evictions. So we'll see if that ends up happening. We're hoping we don't. We're hoping we can just have the tenants move out. Or if the tenants are here, you know, some of the tenants, if they want to stay, we'll tell them, you know, if you want to stay, great. Like, you'll have to apply through the new property management company. And as long as you know, pass all of our background screening and that stuff, and you can move into one of the newly renovated units, because we want to get all of the units renovated, everything updated, and everything nice and new. So that is our goal of this property and this project. So, but I'm gonna go check out and see how our countertop installs are going. And if you guys do have any other questions, please put them in the comments below. Shoot me a message. I'd be more than happy to answer any question you have on what we're doing, why we're doing it, things like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be continuing to do these videos on this project as we continue to move forward and get this property stabilized over the next several months. So stay tuned. All right, I wanted to do a quick video of the exterior here. It is cold. So here's the buildings. We own those two. That one we don't own, but we do own the next one. Here's our dumpster. So then there's a tent on that side as well. So this side has a covered parking. The other side had it taken down. But this is the exterior of the properties.